name is Uriel, and I've made a series of tutorial vids for you in which I want to explain SMW flight and everything that's to it. I'm gonna start it slow with takeoff and basic flying. We go into turnaround, sticky flight, before we go to more difficult stuff like precision fly, specific tag, item tag, and even Yoshi flight. I hope you have fun watching this. Hey, in this part of the series we want to talk about turnaround. We go over patched, vanilla, how you can reposition yourself with turnaround, and basic cape spinning. And since we're in Le Plume for now, I want to show you something else. Like, you probably saw me a couple of times doing it now without me talking about it. And I want to fix that now. One of the coolest things you can do with cape, all of the things you can do with cape are cool, but that is one of the coolest things, is controlling where you're going. Like, normally nothing happens if I press left here. I'm just pumping basically. And if I press right, I'm going quicker. I explained that. But how do we change our direction? Well, there's the so-called cape twirl. We can press X while we hold Y. There's a couple different ways to do this. You have to find a way that works for yourself. Some people are fat thumbing it, so basically you use your thumb and slide it over to X while holding Y. I personally like to claw, where I'm using my index finger to press X, or in some cases even A or start for different setups. That is something you have to experiment with, what works best for you. I don't think there's a best solution for everyone. Just try it out a little bit and find what's working for you. And that is basically how a turnaround works. Yeah, not quite. Turnaround is actually a very difficult thing. Like, you see me doing it here very good because I'm using the right timing. You want to do it right after a cape pump. Otherwise you lose time for pumping and you will probably be very far off from doing this. If you just do it somewhere, stuff like this happens. Try to do it after a cape pump. Basically as early as possible, and try to change a little bit how long you're pressing backwards. Like, ideally you just want to tap backwards and then press spin. That way you can even do a turnaround without changing your speed. Sometimes this is necessary. But on the other hand, if you just want to change a direction and still go slowly, a very good thing for this is to keep left or right, or rather backwards, held while you press spinning. Because while you're in spinning mode, you can move kind of freely, like during a takeoff. So that gives you immense control and lets you even do stuff like this, where you're spinning, and you can just keep your flight and you're moving very controlled this way, if you know what to do. But one thing that is not cool about this, you will not keep track about which direction you're facing. And that brings me to another thing. Like you see me doing it now, I'm turning around 100% of the times. This is not vanilla behavior. This is so-called patch turnaround. I'm gonna go over vanilla turnarounds next, because it's a lot more difficult than this. Because patch turnaround means you know what direction you'll be facing right after you do the cape pump, right? Seems pretty easy. You're doing a cape pump, you look the other way, yada yada yada, backwards is the other way. If you want to speed up, just left and right or swap. No, not that hard. But hey, it's editing Uriel. It's time to talk about ice cream here for a second. Vanilla ice cream is the most popular ice cream in the world. But then why isn't vanilla cape? And I personally think it's because vanilla cape is misunderstood. Like, people will tell you it's RNG because you don't know which side you're facing, which might be true, but let me show you how to correctly play vanilla cape, and after that you don't think it's RNG anymore. I'm booting up Learning to Fly again, and we take a look where we can experiment with this a little. Like I said, this is the OG SMW training room. And what I mean with this is everything here is vanilla, except that the timer is removed and the status bar. And one other thing is, this isn't patch turnaround. Let me show you. You just saw me doing it in Le Plume. Every time I'm turning around. But what happens here? I'm turning. You see me turning, you see the inputs. I'm pressing the same buttons, but I'm not turning around. Vanilla turnaround works kinda different than patch turnaround. Patch turnaround guarantees you a turnaround. You always face the other direction than you faced before. Vanilla turnaround works in a different way. Every 4 frames that are on a global timer, you change the way Mario will look after he comes out of a spin. So it's essentially RNG because it's a global timer. There's like no reliable way to influence it, and because it's so short, you just have to try. What that means is, if you do your normal inputs that you do from patch turnarounds like this, something like this happens. And if you don't know how to recover from negative speed there, then you will do this and probably head forward and bam into the ground. Or something like this happens, you know how to do short pumps, and now you press the other way. You lose your control. And because of that, vanilla turnaround has to be played very differently. You want to tap and you want to let go all the time. And then you tap. So if you do it correctly, your speed is not changing while you do the spinning animation. I held it a little bit too long here, but you get the idea. That is a very good way, because that way, if you want to turn around, you get more tries. Like, basically, knowing how to do vanilla turnaround comes down to neutraling the D-pad before you press the A button, the X button, my bad, for turning around, knowing it, doing it at the correct timing, and being able to react which way you're looking. Like, you just have to know then, okay, it's the other way, I have to pump the other way, forward is the other way, and you have to be able to react on this very quick, because some of the obstacles that are possible with vanilla turnaround do look like they were designed for patch turnaround. But you can make very, very tight and narrow stuff that does not look like it should be possible with vanilla turnaround. But most stuff is indeed quite possible. There is one exception I want to talk about later that is just not made for vanilla turnaround, because you have to know which way you're facing. Yeah. One more thing you can do with spinning, and this works if it's vanilla or patched, you can use the turnaround for a repositioning tool. Let me go close to the wall here, I want to show you something. Like, I said it a little bit earlier already, but I did not explain it in great detail. When you're spinning from the turnaround, you basically have the ability to change your speed with holding left or right by 4 frames. Like you would if you were in takeoff or normal flying, you basically get that freedom back. And that means, even if you're playing with vanilla turnaround and are not sure if you can get away, you can get room there. Without touching the wall, you can actually get space and keep on climbing up if you want to do so. And if you turn around, it doesn't hurt either. And turnaround makes this possible, because you can move freely while it. But for doing this, you have to have a very good feeling about how long you want to hold left or right there, because otherwise you do stuff like this and you're completely out of way that you want to do. don't worry guys, that is very hard. Vanilla turnaround is probably the most offsetting and off-putting thing for a lot of guys that try around with cape. I personally don't think it's very hard. You just have to have a different mindset about it. Don't try to use the turnaround as a tool for, I change my direction here. Use it as a repositioning tool that has an option to turn around. Like, you always want to do the turnaround in a spot or state where you know, hey, doesn't matter if I'm facing left or right here, I can do with whatever. But I use it in a way that makes this possible. Like if you just keep doing this, you might get very unlucky. And one other thing that we can do with cape is, as you see me doing it here now, we can spin. And for that, we want to find out what we can do with spinning. None of that we want to do for now. I think this one is good. Cape spinning sounds good. Let's take a look. Whoa. You see what it does? Cape spin. Okay, that was the cape spinning. That was the easy part that you probably already done, but you can spin while in the air too. Like you just did me see me do it while flying. Ah, that is a very cool way, by the way, of showing you what you can do if you keep spinning here. Like, if you're trying to do this obstacle like this, it's possible, but you have to be very lucky there. Normally you're not supposed to make that. I just got lucky there. You saw the idea, spinning while flying, and then you can do a ground pound. Works very, very well for turning around. But what I wanted to show you here is, I think this one is called patch turnaround. Yeah, this is the one I want to show you. So this one has patch turnaround because you're supposed to learn how to spin things, and you can spin things in air. And for that, I want to talk a little bit about the 4-frame rule again. There are patches that work around that, but normally your cape is changing the direction. It's hitting something every 4 frames. Like, while you see me spinning, you see the outer hitbox. That was dumb. Let's try this again. Like, now the hitbox is left. If I'm pausing 4 frames later, it's on the right. And this is where the cape actually hits. And it changes every 4 frames. So that means sometimes it feels like you're getting unlucky when you want to hit something because you're very close to it. I can't reproduce it now because I'm too close. But believe me, sometimes you will think, I've hit that, why didn't it hit? And that is because of the possible frame rules there. There's a patch that works around it, so you're always hitting both sides. But that's not vanilla behavior. And like I said here, this is patch turnaround, so you always face the other direction. And that's what I wanted to tell you about turnaround. Just let me say this again, vanilla turnaround takes time to get used to. Like, I've put in literally hundreds of hours into flying and flying tech, and I want to say I'm pretty decent, but it's hard. It's hard, and like everything in Kaizo, it takes time to get good. So don't be discouraged if it's not immediately working and it's not immediately clicking. One thing that helped me a lot with that was getting used to slower inputs and thinking about what you're doing. Like, no, most of the time in Kaizo you're just playing quick, press buttons, something will work, and eventually you find something that works. I think Cape works quite the opposite, especially vanilla Cape. It is a lot more about knowing what to do and how to do that, and then executing it. Like, the execution for most stuff isn't that difficult or tight if you know how to do it and what you can do. It takes a lot of work and practice. I hope you liked the video. I hope you give the other videos a go, and if you learned something, I'm very happy about it. Anyway, see you soon, and bye bye!